Husky fans, I am Andy Garcia. Thank you for joining me. And throughout this month of February in Black History Month, NIU and the NIU women's basketball team is celebrating Black History Month. And I am enthused. I am so excited to talk to Sonya Crider. Sonya Crider was the first Black NIU women's basketball player. She played from 1981 to 85. She's listed in the top 10 in several record categories at NIU, including part of the 1,000-point club at NIU. Has scored 1,201 points in her career. She joins me now. And Sonya, it is great to get you on. Thanks for the time.
Thank you for the honor of having me on and just bringing this up. I really appreciate it. It's great to meet you.
Sonya, having been the first Black female NIU women's basketball player, the first Black female on the management team for Disney Wide World of Sports, and the first Black executive of the Emerson YMCA in Ferguson, Missouri, and Downtown YMCA in Seattle, Washington. What does it mean to you to be a Trailblazer?
Responsibility. I knew when I went to NIU, my parents sat me down. My grandfather also was there, and they talked about, you're going to be the only Black person on the team. You might even be the first Black person on the team. So we knew early on that this was the case. And the lessons that I learned from those conversations, and knowing that I'm in this space and I continue to place myself in positions of being in those spaces, I learned a lot of that at NIU, like how to handle those situations, how to be in those spaces, how to have my voice as a Black female from Chicago, from the South Side of Chicago, be heard in an intelligent manner and a respected manner, and to teach people how to treat me and how therefore to treat my people. That I knew going in, because my parents and my grandparents just drilled it in me that you have to be an example. But my dad would always say, you're a Crider, and that means something.
You've opened up many doors for others. What were some of the obstacles you faced being Black and being a female?
The same obstacles that you might expect, the ones that you see on TV or in movies when you're talking about different people that have come into different sports arenas and different professional arenas. The main things that I would see was the preconceived notions of what the experience was going to be, how I was going to respond to certain things, how to receive me in certain spaces, how I wouldn't be allowed in certain spaces. Those were the things that I noticed, and the stereotypic voice is what I expected people to hear when they were addressing me. As far as a president of one of the departments I was in at Universal, I gave a speech to 3,000 teachers about education and how Universal could be that educational. And at the end of the speech, he said, "You speak so well." And I said, "Oh, okay." What were you expecting? So it's always that back of the mind, back of your head, someone telling your story without your voice.
You've been a big leader in the community. What advice would you give to those who want to be their own leader in their own community?
I would say, dare to be great. Don't be afraid of what people are going to say about your stance, but you have to know yourself and know what you are willing to do, what you are willing to lose, more importantly. What is off the table for you to lose in order to achieve a cause, in order to enter a space, in order to take your seat at the table, and then go for it. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to get in front of people and say the truth and say your truth, and say it in a manner where you meet people where they are and bring them where you need them to be.
What was your most memorable experience playing back at NIU?
Here's a couple of them. The one I do remember is 1,000 point. When I got my 1,000th point, we were actually playing at Old Dominion, and I was a huge Old Dominion fan, so that was amazing. Another one was we played SIU, and I'm a fourth generation SIU graduate. I got my graduate degree from SIU, so my family was big on SIU, not so much on NIU.
Okay.
We were playing. Dr. J had done this finger roll, and I had been practicing it all week. And when we got in the game, my parents and all of my family were in SIU stuff and cheering for SIU and sitting on their side. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I went down the lane and I was like, I'm doing this move in this game. And I went down the lane, I did my finger roll, and I looked at my family. And then I just went on down the court, right? We ended up winning the game. And when I got back to NIU, someone had taken a picture of that exact move, put it in a paper, and then put underneath Crider the Glider.
I love it.
Which is a name that ended up sticking. My roommate still calls me that to this day. And I sent one of those papers to every one of my family members at SIU.
That's good. See, that's good.
That was perfect.
I love that.
Yeah, that's how you get a nickname. I'll hear it every once in a while.
What words of wisdom or encouragement would you like to give the current NIU women's basketball program?
I think that them and their coaches, I would say to all of them to know that this is a sisterhood. And that once you become an NIU player, you are part of the NIU family for life. And anything you need, reach out, ask us. We all talk to each other all the time. It's almost like a sorority. It is a sorority. And to cherish this time, it's so brief, it's so short. And yeah, coach is going to run you to death. But later on in life, you'll run a little kid the same way. and you'll always know those times that you spent at NIU that, you know, they won't all be good and they won't all be bad, but they will all be amazing and they will all be memorable. And for them to just know who they are, be who they are, show up authentically, be willing to not be the smartest person in the room. If you always show up and you're in a room and you're always the smartest, you're in the wrong room. You need a better room. And to know that everyone that played for NIU, everyone that coached NIU loves you all.
Sonya, it was great to get you on. You are a true trailblazer as we celebrate Black History Month. Thank you for the time and continued success with everything you're doing.
Absolutely. Thank you. We're trying to represent NIU. Go Huskies.
You are. Go Huskies. That is Sonya Crider as NIU and NIU women's basketball celebrate Black History Month. More to come, more features, more videos as we continue through the month. Until next time, go Huskies.